The impetus for the Breakthrough Supply Chains book was the COVID pandemic because of an avalanche of issues that we saw. The three out of the four co-authors that they wrote the Supercharged Supply Chain in the 90s that for me became a holy grail. The three of them and I were talking about the issues that the US was facing. And we saw that discrepancy between what the private sector is trying to do with the policymakers' teams. So we decided to follow up with a book to address the structural problems that we were seeing even before the COVID pandemic, to provide guardrails for policymakers along with C-level executives of how to navigate the new landscape, which is guided by this multipolar contested world, and it will be exposed more and more of black swan events, low probability, high impact events. One of my co-authors of the Breakthrough Supply Chains book, Wolfgang Parz, part of Ernst Young group. Supply chain was credited with the name supply chain, coined in the 80s as the migration for the term logistics. While logistics is the discipline and science of managing inventories in motion, supply chain tried to capture something that was morphing due to 4 decades of unfettered globalization, which was what? The unification of the plan, buy, make, move, distribute, sell processes around the globe following financial, technological, and logistical developments, right? So the supply chains became these extended enterprises that encompass so many different players around the globe. As a young assistant professor at the University of Miami, my department chair told me about the Ryder Dedicated Logistics headquartered at Miami was asking for collaborations with the business school at the time to develop a center for logistics. And he said, you know, you gotta meet with these guys. Well, I met with these guys. And these guys, because they met me, for reasons unbeknown to me, they canceled all the plans to work with the business school, and at the University of Miami, they decided to work with me as a young assistant professor. We called it Center for Advanced Supply Chain Management. It still exists at the University of Miami to do custom, pragmatic, forward-thinking educational training for executives for next-gen supply chains. And I continued this path. I stayed for about 10, 12 years in Miami. Then I moved to Greece, where I developed also a center funded by the European Commission on sustainable supply chains for the agri-food sector. And then after another 12 years, I moved to Texas. That's my third career. It's already 10 years. So I'm very grateful about the opportunities here at Texas A&M, but especially the last 4 years at the Energy Institute. Professor Pistikopoulos Stratos had a vision when he invited me here to lead a new thrust of research. At the time, I didn't know what he was thinking. He was far, far ahead of me. Right? But he wanted me to lead this thrust that we called resilience and sustainability of integrated manufacturing and energy supply chains. What I know now, 4 years in the making, is that he was absolutely correct. He told me the other day in the office that even he didn't expect the success that we have had the last 4 years. Leaders make decisions and then all great things happen, and he's a true leader. What is happening today more than ever, the manufacturing and energy landscapes are becoming more and more interwoven. So we see, for example, what is going on with the growth of AI and data centers. And we have leading research here that we're doing on this field, which is developing new things, honoring the support that we have from the great state of Texas, and adding value to US policy. This is at the core of what the Energy Institute is doing. So one of the things we're looking at is the fusion of manufacturing that we bring back in the US, along with the demand of AI and data centers for electricity, with the inertia of the grid. We say that electricity is the new oil. The AI and data centers put so much pressure on the grid, along with this new manufacturing that comes back to the state and the nation. So together, these put tremendous pressures on the grid, So we're looking at what are the optimal policies for data centers, along with what are the optimal portfolios for the grid operators for the years to come. Also, we have a new MOU now with the Mosbacher Institute of Trade and Economics out of the Bush School. I'm a co-director of the Global Value Chains program there. We're looking at both what data centers need to do, both what the energy grids need to do, and we want to offer science-backed tools that regulators and politicians can use to conduct what we call what-if analysis. So if we do this, what will happen versus if we do that? That's some of the stuff that we're working on. The Energy Institute acts as a microcosm of what an interdisciplinary center should look like. It has the agility and the flexibility to grab opportunities that may be much better, of course, departments than ours don't have. And that's what we're working on. I think this has been, in my humble opinion, a huge ROI investment from TIS and Texas A&M, and I look forward to continue adding value.